UFC 289, Nunes versus Aldana. Full card early prediction. What is today? May 28th of 2023. We got UFC 289 coming at you for Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, with a banger of a main event. Amanda Nunes, Irene, Aldana. One of the greatest main events of all time. I'm joking. It's an okay fight. But we're going to do a full card prediction for every one of these fights a little bit earlier than usual. From the bottom to the top, you know the drill. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and check the description or pinned comment down below to see all of the bets that I'm going to make for this entire card. And before we get into it, we gotta pray some I can't talk today. I mean, I'm so distraught by how bad of a main card this is that I can't really talk too well. But we have to start it off by talking about these three cancellations. We got Hakeem Dawodu versus Lucas Almeida getting canceled from the card, and no replacement. We're not getting a replacement for Hakeem for UFC 289. I don't know why. Amanda Nunes originally was supposed to fight Juliana Pena in the trilogy. We already know what would have happened in that trilogy because we saw the second fight. But now we have the main event of Nunes Aldana. And then we had Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Michel Pereira got scrapped and moved to UFC 299. So let's pay some respects to the fallen fights that are mainly Hakeem Dawodu, Lucas Almeida, and Michel Pereira and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. We don't care about the Juliana Pena fight. I'm just going to say that right now. Let's get in to the first fight in the light heavyweight division. Chris Daukaus, the guy that loses to pretty much every black fighter he fights, taking on, well, a black fighter in Khalil Rountree at UFC 289, Nunes versus Aldana. This is going to be his move to the light heavyweight division. They are both 33 years old. The boxing of Chris Daukaus is very, very solid, and he's got a lot of speed against heavyweights. The heavyweights are really, really slow, so he was able to knock out Parker Porter in his UFC debut, knock out Rodrigo Nascimento in 45 seconds, knock out Alexei Oleinik and Shamil Abdurakhimov. A lot of big boy heavyweights that did not have a lot of speed. Then he fought some other heavyweights that, you know, have power. I mean, they have power, like Derek Lewis, like Curtis Blaze, and Jairzinho Rozenstruik, who all knocked him to the Shadow Realm in round 1 and in round number 2. Now he's going to be fighting Khalil Rountree, not necessarily like a knockout artist type of guy when it comes to the chin, but he's got another way of finishing his fights, as he got the side kick to the knee knockout on Modestas Bukauskas, and he got the hooks and then the devastating body kicks on Carl Roberson. Also knocked out Paul Craig earlier on in his career. This is top 15 at heavyweight versus top 15 at light heavyweight. I do believe Khalil Rountree and Chris Daukaus are going to have similar speed with their punches, but I think Khalil Rountree is going to be a little bit faster and is going to be able to counter Chris Daukaus as he comes to the inside, as well as land the kicks to the leg, the kicks to the body, maybe some kicks to the head as Chris Daukaus is coming in. Personally, I think this is where it ends for Chris Daukaus getting knocked out every single fight. I got this one going to a decision, which nobody is really thinking on those Tapology predictions, but that's what I got here. Let's take a look at the betting odds. What do they have them at? Are they just not here, or am I blind? Khalil Rountree is a minus 250 favorite on Chris Daukaus. That is absolutely insane. I do have Khalil Rountree winning. I don't think it should be that big of a favorite. I'm very curious to see on those decision odds, because I'm already seeing Tapology going crazy over the KO TKO. But Khalil by decision. Nassourdine Imavov and Chris Curtis in the middleweight division. Now, guys, we already know what just happened with Nassourdine Imavov. Lost to Sean Strickland by a unanimous decision. I believe 5 rounds. In the middleweight division, did beat Joaquin Buckley, beat Edmund Shabazi and Eden Heinisch, and then lost to Phil Halls before that. Personally, I think Chris Curtis wins this fight. I do think Chris Curtis wins this fight. He's not as tall as Nassourdine Imavov, but I actually think he hits harder, and he's just going to have those moments. Nassourdine might be able to land slightly more volume than Chris Curtis, but the fact that Chris Curtis is just going to keep on coming, kind of like Sean Strickland was able to do, and just keep coming forward, keeping the volume relatively even, but mixing in some big shots every now and then on Nassourdine Imavov, I think that's what's going to get Chris Curtis the win here. And we know Chris Curtis isn't the type of guy to get dominated when it comes to wrestling and grappling. Jack Hermanson didn't go out there, take him down, and control him. Rodolfo Vieira, good wrestler, grappler. Brendan Allen, good wrestler, grappler. Phil Halls, good wrestler, grappler. I mean, these are a lot of good guys when it comes to wrestling and grappling. And he's doing really good against these guys. Now he's fighting Nassourdine Imavov, who is okay on the ground, but mainly a striker. It's what I kind of expect this fight to be. A 3-round striking bout, and Chris Curtis, I believe, keep it even, but have those bigger moments in this fight. I got Chris Curtis by a unanimous decision. Aoriqileng and Aiemann Zahabi in the bantamweight division. I mean, Aoriqileng, a little bit lengthier, not as tall. He's a lot younger than Aiemann Zahabi, and I would say more powerful than Aiemann Zahabi. Just got a win over Jay Perrin by unanimous decision, and this is a tough one because it's kind of like the last fight with Nassourdine Imavov and Chris Curtis, where Aiemann Zahabi is probably going to be a little bit faster, maybe lands a little bit more volume here than Aoriqileng, but Aoriqi does have slightly more power in his hands and a little bit better of a finishing ability. And Aiemann, we know, doesn't have the best chin out there, getting knocked out by Ricardo Ramos. I think Aoriqileng will get a decision win here. I know Tapology, there's a few people saying a KO win for Aoriqileng, but I got it going all the way. I think Aoriqileng lands the harder shots. Aiemann lands a little bit of volume as well, and we got a very close, controversial 29-28 for Aoriqileng. Matt Schnell and David Dvorak in the flyweight division, 31 and 33 years old. Tapology, I'm guessing, is going to go with David Dvorak here. 78% going Dvorak. The betting odds going with Dvorak as well. I'm going to go out on a limb here and pick Matt Schnell to win. I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here. He did lose to Ogerio Bontarim, got submitted by Brandon Royval in a fight where he kind of hurt Brandon Royval on the feet and almost finished him. Then he got hurt and then he got submitted. Did the same with Suma Derji as well. And then, yeah, he did get knocked out by Mateusz Nicolau. But now he's fighting David Dvorak, who, in my opinion, doesn't really have that good of a chin. I know he's not getting knocked out in every single one of his fights, but I think Matt Schnell has good enough power. He's not the best striker in the world by any means, but he's got good enough power to land on David Dvorak a few good times in this fight to get the fight to the mat and use his jiu-jitsu to win there. I think David Dvorak will lose a decision here, 29-28 to Matt Schnell. I think David's going to land a little bit more volume. Matt's going to hit him with a big shot every now and then, and as soon as the fight hits the mat, either with a takedown from Matt Schnell, or if he's able to hurt him on the feet and use that to get him to the ground, I believe Matt Schnell will use that to control the fight on the floor and win at least 2 of these rounds. It's a very close fight in my opinion. My original pick was going to be David Dvorak, but I have since changed my mind. Matt Schnell by decision. Blake Bilder and Kyle Nelson in the featherweight division. Kyle Nelson has been finished a lot in his MMA career. Got arm triangled by Matt Sales, got knocked out by Billy Corintillo, somehow did not get finished by Jai Herbert, and then had a draw with Du Ho Choi. Recently, I mean, ever since he took that 2.5-year break, he's been looking a little bit better. His striking has improved. He's taller, he's lengthier than Blake Bilder, could keep the fight at range and outstrike Blake Bilder on the outside. Blake, if I'm him, I'm trying to take this fight down. I'm trying to wrestle. I'm trying to grind. I'm trying to grapple. And that's kind of what I see happening here. It's not a confident pick, like 96%. Tapology's kind of nuts with that prediction there. But I am going to lean Blake Bilder to win by unanimous decision. I think he grinds this one, keeps the striking very, very even, closes that distance, mixes in the takedown, and I got Blake Bilder by a unanimous decision. Again, those odds are kind of, or no, not the odds, the Tapology predictions are kind of insane. Minus 200, even that kind of seems like a little bit much, in my opinion. Diana Belbita and Maria Oliveira in the strawweight division. Diana Belbita lost to Molly McCann, Eliana Jojua, and Gloria Del Paola. She did beat some girls on the regional scene, and then, one win in the UFC over Hannah Goldie, who is, well, not in the UFC. She's an okay grappler, okay wrestler, and things like that, but, I mean, this is probably going to be a 3-round striking match. Women's MMA, I mean, decision, armbar, yeah, decision, knockout, and then another decision. I do have this one going all the way. Maria Oliveira is lengthier than Diana Belbita, and I believe she has slightly better striking than Diana Belbita. I believe she uses her height and reach to stay on the outside, land more volume, and I got Maria Oliveira by a unanimous decision. Jasmine Jasudavicius versus Miranda Maverick in the flyweight division. I am going to go Miranda Maverick to win this fight. I think she will be able to mix in some of these takedowns here and keep the striking even. I believe Jasmine Jasudavicius is very ever so slightly the better striker here, but Miranda Maverick does have that ability to close the distance, get the fight to the clinch, land some good clinch strikes to the body, to the leg, and then mix in those takedowns as well in the later rounds. It should be a close fight in my opinion between two girls, one of which, the winner, most likely getting a top 15 fight next in the flyweight division, but I'm going to have to go Miranda Maverick to win this fight by a 29-28 decision. Jasmine did not get finished by Natalia Silva, and we know how good Natalia Silva has gone on to be, knocking out Teresa Bleda and knocking out Victoria Leonardo. Couldn't do nothing to Jasmine Jasudavicius. So what do y'all think? It's a good fight. It's a very good fight. Winner gets a top 15. I got Miranda Maverick by a close 29-28 decision. Mike Mallet and Adam Fugitt in the welterweight division. I'm going to go that same prediction as the Michael Morales fight in a second or third round TKO. Mike Mallet is younger. It's the same height. Not as much of a reach as Adam Fugitt, but I think Mike Mallet will have some success later on in this fight. Round 1, I'm going to give that round to Adam Fugitt. Mike Mallet, I mean, his nose gets busted up early on pretty fast, and I think that's going to be enough alone for the judges to give Adam Fugitt the round. Round number 2, I believe Mike Mallet is going to drop Adam Fugitt and search for a submission midway through the round, then control the round for the rest of the time, just ground and pounding and staying on top. And at the beginning of round number 3, he's going to drop him again, not go for the submission this time, and just ground and pound him off. I got Mike Mallet by a round 2 TKO or a round 3 TKO. Dan Ige and Nate Landwehr in the featherweight division. I'm not going to be like a lot of people, I mean, kind of going on the train, the hype train, on Nate Landwehr saying he's going to go out there, break into the top 15, be a future champion. Come on, guys. The man lost to Julian Erosa with a flying knee, and his only wins in the UFC were after losses to Herbert Burns. I mean, the man got knocked out by Herbert Burns. The dude, I don't know what it is with him and knees, but he gets knocked out with knees like every single time an opponent actually throws a knee. He did beat Ludwig Klein due to cardio. He did beat David Onama due to cardio. He did beat Austin Lingo in the later rounds, sort of, kind of due to cardio as well. Dan Ige not going to gas out. He's not a guy that's going to go out there round 1, burst his gas tank, and just fade in round 2 and round number 3. I do believe Dan Ige will have the better striking here and keep this one on the feet for 3 straight rounds. He knocked out Gavin Tucker, just knocked out Damon Jackson as well. I don't think he knocks out Nate Landwehr. I got this one going all the way, but I think Dan Ige is going to be the better boxer here and outstrikes Nate Landwehr for 2 rounds, of round 1 and in round number 2. Nate Landwehr, just the machine that he is, the train that he is going to go crazy in round number 3, looking for that finish, but I got Dan Ige by a 29-28 decision. Marc-Andre Barriault and Eryk Anders in the middleweight division. I'm sad to say that I think this one goes to a decision as well. I hate picking so many decisions on these cards, but Marc-Andre Barriault is just a decision machine. Except for, these 3 fights right here. I know. Dalchalun Jambula decision. Got knocked out by Chidi and Jokawani. Got submitted by Anthony Hernandez. Knocked out Julie. I'm going to take that back. Not a decision machine. I don't know what I was thinking there. But I do believe this one does go to a decision. Marc is just going to batter Eryk Anders in round 2, round number 3. I think Eryk will have his moments in round 1. Land a good shot. Maybe rock Marc-Andre Barriault in the first round. Round 2, round 3, Marc is going to, put that nickname to use, power bar. And in round 2, round 3, really pour on that pressure and land some good shots. I got Marc-Andre Barriault by 29-28 decision. Hopefully a finish. Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush in the lightweight division. Similar age, same height, and a little bit of a reach advantage for Charles Oliveira. Personally, I'm going to go Beneil Dariush by decision. I think the striking in this fight with Charles Oliveira and Beneil Dariush is actually going to be relatively even. I give a slight advantage to Charles Oliveira in terms of maybe power and maybe the kicking game and things like that. But Beneil Dariush is going to take down Charles Oliveira. He's not going to be like a Justin Gaethje, a Dustin Poirier, a Michael Chandler, a Tony Ferguson, where he's scared to kind of go to the ground with Charles Oliveira because we know what he did to Poirier, Gaethje. We know what he did to Tony Ferguson. Beneil Dariush is not scared to go to the ground with Charles do Bronx Oliveira. Oliveira's best chance to win here is to knock out Beneil Dariush on the feet, keep it on the feet for 3 rounds and just win a close decision, or somehow get a submission on the ground. And I know that's weird saying Charles Oliveira somehow gets a submission, but Beneil Dariush is very, very good counter grappler and has very, very solid submission defense. So personally, I think Beneil Dariush will keep the striking even, land takedowns of his own, maybe even hurt Oliveira on the feet. Oliveira is going to do his weird, bop, get into my guard, Beneil, and Beneil is going to kind of welcome that exchange and just get some tip-tap shots in and win a close decision. I actually don't think this is going to be the most exciting fight ever on the card, considering I think Beneil's kind of going to grind for that decision. But it's a close one. Oliveira, all it takes is one moment to latch out that submission, and he could very well win. All it takes is one moment on the feet to land onto Oliveira or to land on Dariush, and we could get a knockout. But I got this fight going all the way. Beneil Dariush by decision. Amanda Nunes and Irene Aldana in the bantamweight division. I'm going to go Amanda Nunes by TKO in round number 3 or in round number 4. I think round 1, Amanda Nunes is going to firmly control the round, but it's not going to be a dominant round. She's going to outstrike Irene Aldana on the feet fairly well, land some good shots there, and then get a takedown right at the end of round number 1. Round number 2, she's going to get that takedown a heck of a lot easier, land some good elbows on top, cut open Irene Aldana in the second round, and then in round number 3, Irene is going to be very demoralized, and she's going to be backing up from Amanda Nunes. Amanda going to start pouring on that pressure, and that's where I think she's going to land on Irene Aldana and KO her at the end of round number 3, or maybe Irene is so tough and survives to round 4, but I think it'll be an early round 4 finish. I got round 3 or round 4 TKO for Amanda Lioness Nunes. That is the full card prediction for UFC 289 in Canada. I got Amanda Nunes winning by 3rd or 4th round TKO. I got Beneil Dariush by decision. Marc-Andre Barriault by decision. Dan Ige by a decision. Mike Mallet with a 3rd round TKO. Miranda Maverick decision. Maria Oliveira decision. I do have Blake Bilder decision. Matt Schnell as an underdog by a decision. Aoriqileng by a decision. Chris Curtis by a decision. And Khalil Rountree by a decision. You already know, if you've watched my channel for a while, you know I'm notorious for picking fighters to win by a decision. Again, the reason being is I'm just going off the most likely outcome. Obviously, possibly Aoriqileng gets a finish. Maybe Chris Curtis gets a finish. Dan Ige might get the knockout. Obviously, these are very possible to happen. I'm just giving what I think the most likely scenario is. Obviously, like 5-6 fights are probably going to be finishes on this card, maybe even more, but I'm just giving you the most likely scenario in my opinion. What do y'all think about UFC 289? Comments down below. Like and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.